Thank you very much, Speaker, and it's a pleasure to rise and make a contribution on this MPI, which its foundation is recognising our frontline workers over the holiday and summer season. And hence, I would like to talk for a few moments about our timber workers, because every summer season they are at the forefront of our bushfire response. They are there protecting the people who don't only live in our area, but the many thousands who flock from the metropolitan area to holiday within our region over summer. And I want to just quote very quickly about the importance of these timber workers. And this is a quote from Chris Hardman at a recent public meeting in Mallacoota around the importance of our timber industry. Chris is the Chief Fire Officer of Forest and Fire Operations, and Chris nailed this. Here's Chris's commentary. Chris said, "The forest contractors are singly the most important part of my team. You can't replace them. They are absolutely gold dust. I can't do my job properly without them. I'm hopeful many will be around for a long time." These are the timber workers that saved communities in 2019-20 bushfires. Last summer, almost 12 months ago, they were again protecting communities in East Gippsland from fire at the forefront. Speaker, we spoke about the complaints a minute ago about getting an order wrong and the abuse someone might get behind a counter at a cafe, and no abuse should be accepted, and I grant you that. But these are the people who are cutting fire breaks through flames. They have burning branches dropping on the top of their machinery as they're going through the bush putting in fire breaks to protect communities. These are the people that are getting sparks and embers in their face, not just verbal abuse from environmentalists, but sparks and embers in their face as they go about their business. Now, this MPI talks about thanking our frontline workers. Let me tell you how these workers have been thanked by this government, Speaker. Weeks after defending communities in East Gippsland last summer, just weeks after being at the forefront, they got told their industry was ending, that it was being brought forward 7 years with no prior warning. You're finished and you're going to be out by January 1, 2024. Weeks after saving towns and saving communities. What a way to say thank you. Now, as we progress, the compensation package that's been put on the table for these frontline workers is paltry. It's hopeless. They're in a situation now where we're about to enter into December. They're out by January 1, and some have been asked to put in expressions of interest as to whether they want to keep working for the government in a role of first responders to fire. So the contractors have asked, OK, we'll put in an expression of interest. Can you tell us where the work is? Can you tell us what the work is so we know what machinery we've got to keep? And can you tell us what we're going to be paid? None of those questions have been answered in the level of detail that is required for them to make a decision. What a way to say thank you to our frontline workers. The equipment. The first draft that came out said they'll be compensated for equipment 1 to 10 years old only, up to a level where the budget for the equipment criteria is exhausted. That is in the document. How is that fair? How do you get fairly compensated for your equipment when the government puts a cap on the budget that they're going to compensate them for? And then they said, if that's not a big enough doozy from this minister, they then get told equipment over 10 years old won't be compensated. There is a lot of equipment, Speaker, more than 10 years old, of forestry workers worth hundreds of thousands of dollars with low hours that is worth a lot of money, and the initial offer, which I hope is reversed, haven't had confirmation of that yet, is that we've got nothing there for you. That's not going to be compensated. They also asked contractors who they're booting out the door to pay for the retraining costs of their members. Again, totally, it's just wrong. Speaker. Absolutely just wrong. So what a way to say thanks to our timber industry workers who have done so much for our community. They are now families that have been on call, they raced to the forefront, and now they're fairly much getting shafted. I'll also add the recent PAYAC hearings last week revealed that the state's only burnt 70,000 hectares in fuel reduction burns in the last year. So when the Bushfires Royal Commission suggested that to keep communities safe we have to burn around 400,000 hectares, and last year we burnt 70,000 hectares, I'd like a member in this chamber anywhere to tell me how that's ever going to end. When you're not keeping on top of fuel loads, and every summer we have hot weather and it's getting hotter, and we have lightning strikes that start fires, and you don't do the fuel reduction burns, how is that protecting our frontline workers? You are increasing the chances of them facing another mega fire. It is absolutely hopeless situation, absolutely hopeless situation. So it's about time we started to, if we're going to have MPIs about recognising the importance of our frontline workers and respecting them, I reckon a good place to start would be the timber industry. They have done so much for so long over summer periods protecting our communities. I turn to the CFA in the couple of minutes I've got left. There are 3 vehicles in my area of Gippsland, Tyres East, Valencia Creek, Clydebank, Tyres East just out of my electorate, where the vehicles are too old to be part of a strike team. They're too old to travel any level of distance to be in a strike team. What sort of a first line of defence is that? You're getting rid of our timber industry, and you've got vehicles almost older than some of the members of parliament we've got in this chamber. The SES has just been told they've got a 10% cut. Units have received a letter this week while we've been in parliament saying they've got to have a 10% cut. The Lakes Entrance Police Station, we've just been told it's having its opening hours cut in half from 16 hours to 8. When that town's population is going to grow from 5,000 to 25,000, as of next week, opening hours at the station get cut to 8 hours. Absolutely hopeless. We've had 16,000 nurses left the health system in the past 2 years. The Vargo report, not a political comment, the Vargo report says in addition to this, 1 in 4 hospital workers are high to severe stress levels they are suffering. That's the Auditor General. Now, in 2020, healthcare and social assistance sector absolutely decimated in relation to funding to match the number of claims and the increased workload that they are experiencing. The levels of support that have been put in place to try and help those that are the most vulnerable in our community just aren't there. So, Speaker, there's a lot that can be done in relation to frontline workers. I've got timber workers and contractors in my office not knowing what their future holds because they've been booted out of their sector, grown men in tears, their wives in tears. I'm sick of dealing with them because this government will give them no certainty on what their future is going to be beyond January 1. They are not trained to do anything else. They only know about working in the bush. They can't get any level of detail of this government about where the work will, if they put in an expression of interest, are they going to get sent to the other side of the state? What's the pay going to be? Will it pay their mortgage? What sort of gear do they have to hang on to? What can be sold? And we're about 4 weeks away. This was policy done on the run. It is a sham and a shambles. And I'll tell you the one thing that this parliament and the government can do is in the next 4 weeks, just give them all the detail that they need, just so they can make a basic decision about their future. You know, there's even talk of if they want to go on and work for the government, they won't get the full benefits of their package. They should be treated separately. Their exit package should be given to them and then they should be able to make a decision on whether they want to continue. They shouldn't be linked. They should be compensated for getting the boot, and then if they want to continue working for the government, that should be treated separately. Not if you want to keep working for us, we're going to diminish your exit package. How's that looking after frontline workers in this state? I mean, you know, we want to talk about other things of relatively insignificance, about Qantas and the like. Let's get into the real stuff and look after these
Member for
workers.
Eureka.